Good morning, everyone. And if you're listening to this on the day that it drops, happy Friday. It's the end of the week. I hope you had a great week. And if you didn't, the week's almost over. So we can start a new one in a few days. But either way, I appreciate you for joining the podcast. And I hope you're getting the fruit and the food that you need in order to get through your days. So today I want to talk to you from the other side. I have spoken in a couple of podcasts about how terrible this job market is, how the economy's in the toilet, and how hard it is for those of us that are on the outside looking in, how hard it is for us to try to get opportunities. But what's also hard are the people that are currently in their jobs. A lot of them are scared to death. I've talked to them. They've told me, I'd love to bring you in, but I don't even know if my job's going to be around, much less are we expanding. And when I don't see expansion, it scares me because typically that means that downsizing is coming. So although a lot of things are beyond your control, there are certain things that you can do to keep your job. And that's what I want to focus on today. So let's start the podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Today, as I mentioned, I want to talk about something that isn't discussed enough. Not how to get a job, not how to write a resume, not how to interview. I want to talk about how you keep your job once you get it. Because in today's market, that's become just as important as finding one. There are talented people with 10, 15, even 20 years of experience who are struggling to find work. There are recent graduates sending out hundreds of applications and hearing nothing back. Companies are operating leaner than ever. Budgets are tighter, and many organizations are asking fewer people to do more work. So that means every employee, from the newest hire to the executive suite, needs to understand what creates value and what creates risk. So let's dive into it. Rule number one, be the solution, not the problem. One of the fastest ways to become expendable is to become known as the person who always identifies problems but never offers solutions. You want to be solution oriented at all times. If you identify a problem, make sure you find a solution before you bring it up. Because if you're just pointing stuff out and not coming up with solutions, then they're going to wonder, what the heck are you doing there? They hired you to solve problems. They did not hire you to point out flaws. You got to be able to do both. Every workplace has its challenges. Systems break, processes fail, deadlines get missed. Anyone can point out what's wrong. The people who become indispensable are the ones who say, here's the problem, and here's what I think we can do about it. You don't have to have the perfect answer, but bringing solutions shows initiative, maturity, and leadership. Rule number two, show up consistently. I know this sounds basic, but you'd be surprised. Be on time, meet deadlines, respond to messages, do what you say you're going to do. Reliability is one of the most underrated skills in business. In uncertain times, managers often ask themselves one question: who can I count on? And if your name immediately comes to mind, you're already ahead of many people. I've worked at places where I've seen people come in, if our core hours were 9 to 5, let's say, I've seen people roll in at 9:30 and leave at 3:45 consistently. If I recognized it as just a peer, what do you think management is looking at? Because management's looking at everything. So a lot of this stuff is low-hanging fruit. So you want to make sure you do it. These are the easy things, as I call them, the Mickey Mouse things that you're supposed to do. They're simple. But a lot of times people don't focus on the simple. You need to make sure that you are checking the boxes. And something like just showing up on time, that's easy stuff. Make sure you do that. But again, for those of you who are new to the job market, You might see somebody get away with some things and think, oh, they're pretty lax in here. I can come whenever and leave whenever. And the next thing you know, you'll be leaving with that box. So stay focused and make sure that you do the right thing because it's the right thing. Rule number 3, learn faster than the job changes. Technology is moving at lightning speed. AI is changing workflows. Automation is changing responsibilities. Entire industries are evolving. The employee who says, that's not my job, is going to struggle. The employee who says, teach me, is going to thrive. The best workers are lifelong learners. Read, watch tutorials, take certifications, ask questions, stay curious. The day you stop learning is the day you start falling behind. Become an innovator. You want to stay ahead of the curve. Always read and be curious. Curiosity is going to help you when you're in the job force. Rule number 4, leave the drama at home. Every workplace has gossip. Every workplace has politics. Every workplace has conflict. The smartest employees don't fuel it. They avoid becoming known for negativity. People often think job security comes from being the loudest voice in the room. Nah, it doesn't. It comes from being known as someone who can work with anyone. Professionalism matters, your reputation matters. People remember how you make them feel long after they forgot what you said. Let me say that again. People remember how you make them feel long after they forgot what you said or forget what you said. Rule number 5, understand the performance is not enough. This one surprises many new workers. You can be great at your job and still struggle if nobody knows the value you're creating. Notice I didn't say brag. I said communicate, provide updates, share accomplishments, keep your manager informed, document wins, make it easy for leadership to understand your impact. Visibility and performance together create opportunity. Performance without visibility often gets overlooked. Make sure that what you do is amplified. Now, there's an art form to this, right? Because as I mentioned, you don't want to brag, but you need to make sure that those that need to know that it was you who was instrumental in coming up with whatever innovative thing you came up with or whatever solution was presented. And don't expect someone else to speak on your behalf. That rarely happens, and that's a utopian situation at work. You've got to speak up for yourself, and you need to make sure that credit is given when credit is due. Rule number 6, be coachable. One of the biggest mistakes young professionals make is taking feedback personally. Feedback is not an attack. Feedback is information. The people who grow the fastest are the people who can here's what you need to improve, and respond with, thank you, I'll work on that. Every successful person has been coached. Every successful athlete has a coach. Every successful executive has mentors. Be willing to learn. This is critical. Rule number 7, build relationships before you need them. Many people focus only on their direct job responsibilities. Yeah, that's important, but relationships matter too. Get to know people, help others, be respectful, be collaborative. One day, you may need support, advice, resources, or an advocate. I've spoken about an advocate many, many times. You've got to have advocates. If you don't, you're going to be sitting back, and the only opportunities you're going to get are those where people are so desperate to put a body in place that they'll just grab you and say, all right, let's go. That's not what you want to do. You want to be highly coveted And in order to be highly coveted, you've got to have advocates. That's the only way. The relationships you build today can open doors tomorrow. Your network inside a company is often just as important as your network outside of it. You've got to know people, build relationships. A lot of people refer to me as the mayor because I know a lot of people. That's just from building relationships and from your name floating around. That's that nice guy that worked on such and such project. That's the guy that came up with this solution so that we were able to move forward and have a viable option when it looked like we couldn't get anything done. That's how you want your advocates to speak about you. You need people to go to bat, and you need people to fight in rooms that you're not in. Your name needs to come up when you are invisible to that room. And the only way that happens is if you make things happen in a positive manner. Because your name will definitely come up if you're a negative. And that's just to put your name on a list so that they can get rid of you. Rule number 8, protect your personal brand. Whether you realize it or not, you have a brand. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room, as I just mentioned. Are you dependable, positive, hardworking, trustworthy, easy to work with? Or are you known for excuses, negativity, and miscommitments? Your personal brand follows you everywhere. Build one that creates opportunities. Rule number 9, stay humble. No matter how much experience you have, nobody is bigger than the team. The market is teaching all of us a difficult lesson right now. Jobs are not guaranteed at all. Titles are not guaranteed. Companies change. Leaders change. Markets change. Administrations change. The people who endure are the people who stay humble, adaptable, and focused on creating value. If you're a young professional just starting your career, understand this. Getting hired is not the finish line. It's the starting line. Your goal isn't simply to have a job. Your goal is to become so valuable that people don't want to lose you. Show up, work hard, keep learning, be professional, build relationships, solve problems, and remember this. In difficult markets, companies don't just keep employees. They keep value creators. Become one of those people. That is essential to success. Thanks for listening, guys. If this episode helped you, share it with someone early in their career or someone navigating today's challenging job market. That's pretty much everyone, unless you're retired. And if you are, hats off. Because I'm sure a lot of the things that I spoke about today helped you get to the point where you could retire because you were not expendable. So you were able to stay diligent, focused, and stay billable for the number of years you needed in order to be able to walk away and have the funding necessary to smile and keep moving. As I've mentioned to you guys many times, I'm giving you feedback based off of my 30 plus years of work experience. I've seen these things. I've absorbed these things. I've learned these things. All you have to do is click and listen. Now, we all know that everybody doesn't have the golden egg or the perfect answer. So take everything with a grain of salt, but balance this up against someone else. Interview somebody else and ask them, have you encountered any of these things that Ain't Nobody Squeaky Clean is talking about in this podcast? And I promise you, you will hear a lot of similarities. And they'll say, yeah, he's on to something. So please, my goal here, I want you to absorb, research, and apply. And if you do that, hopefully you'll be in a better position than you were before you listened to the podcast. So with that, this is Ain't Nobody Squeaky Clean. And until next time, I hope you have a blessed day and a blessed week. And as I mentioned, since it's Friday, I hope you have a blessed weekend. Talk to you soon.